In this video, let's talk about releasing depreciation, and it'll give us a chance to work on our global changes. So before we release depreciation, we have to put some depreciation on here. Now, this is more of a function of the field adjuster, but it'll kind of let you practice on global changes and show you how and why this is working the way it is. So let me slide this back over. And so now what we want to do is we want to add depreciation to this roof first, which, like I said, is more of a field adjuster's function. So what I want you to do is I want you to highlight everything, highlight all the line items. And the easiest way to do that is just click on any line number and just hit Control A. Control A is a common computer function, works in Word, Excel. It's Control All, so that's going to highlight everything. And notice right here where it says Global Changes, you're going to click right there where it says Global Changes. And it defaults to coverage, but since we want to depreciate, we're going to change that to depreciation right there. And now we're going to depreciate how? We're going to depreciate by age and condition. And let's say that that roof is 15 years old. So we're going to come over here to where our age is, but notice it's grayed out. That's because of this little box right there that says do not change age. So what we're going to do is we're going to uncheck that, and we're going to put in 15 years. And then we're going to hit OK. And we're going to hit OK again. And notice it just depreciated a whole bunch of items there, and it's smart enough to know not to depreciate the line items that are just labor. So notice right there, it did not depreciate that item because it's all labor. Down here, the high charge and steep charge did not depreciate those because those are all labor. So it knows which one to depreciate and which ones not to depreciate. So we've got our depreciation here, and let's go take a look at the report. And here's our report right here. And notice there's my depreciation right there. Now you'll notice down here we got this funny looking little thing here. Somehow we have an item in there that's non-recoverable depreciation. I don't know how that thing slid in there, but it got in there. Let's take a look at it and let's find out where it is, and let's change it. So let's close up our report, and I'm going to go back to my estimate items. And it appears that the culprit is this drip edge. I don't know how that got unchecked. Maybe I unchecked it somewhere along the way. So we're going to check it as recoverable. And now we lost our little, whatever you call those little things. I don't know. I can't. It's a little greater than and less than symbol. That's the word I was looking for. So anyway, now we got all our depreciation there, and you receive an invoice from the contractor showing that he's going to do it for this price here. And normally this is the point where the desk adjuster would receive this. Up until this point, the field adjuster would have handled this so far. And by the way, this price here, just so you know, does not include tax and overhead and profit. So don't panic if that number right there doesn't match with this number, and that's why. So anyway, he's going to do it for, let's say, that $8,600, not including tax. And you're ready to release that depreciation because he's got a signed contract or he's completed the work. Depends on the carrier you work for. So now you want to release all this depreciation. So we're going to do the same thing we did before to get our global changes. We're going to click on the line number, hit Control A. You know what? Let's throw a monkey wrench in there. Let's say that he's going to do the job for the same price minus this furnace vent right here. He doesn't want to do this furnace vent because he's got to call an HVAC guy to do that, and he's not equipped to do that. So he's going to match the price minus that HVAC vent. So we're going to hold down the control key still, and we're going to click on that line item right there, and that's going to include everything except for that one line item. So let's go over that again. I'm going to click out of here. I want to click on a line number. I'm going to hit Control A, and then I'm going to hold down the control key and uncheck that one. This is not an Xactimate thing. This is these are common computer functions. Like for example, I may as well show you here real quick. If I click on one, hold down the shift key and click on another one, it highlights everything in between. If I click one, hold down the control key, then I can select the ones I want. If I want them all, I can click on a line number, hit Control A, and it highlights everything. And then if I want to undo one, hold down the control key and click on the one you want to undo. So we want to release the depreciation on everything except for that one item because he's not doing that. So he shouldn't get the money for that. Right? Make sense? We're going to release all this depreciation because he's going to do that work for the same amount that's in the estimate minus that one item. So we're going to hit global changes now. It defaults to whatever you had last, so it's still on depreciation. This time we're going to depreciate by amount. And we're going to leave it at 0 here because that's what we want our amount to be. We want our depreciation amount to be 0. Now you hit OK. Now you hit OK again. And notice all the depreciation is gone except for that one item that he is not going to do. Now when we go to our report, all the depreciation has been released except for that $46 for that HVAC vent. See, if you release it all to him and he's not doing that item, then he's getting money he's not entitled to. So let's close this up, get back to our estimate, and that's how you add and release depreciation. We're now ready to talk about how to do a bid item. So let's say that you've got a contractor and he has sent you an invoice or an estimate to do this job for $8,200. And notice you've got $8,600 up here. So he's going to do it for essentially $400 less, maybe $300 less because he's not going to do this furnace vent. So we want to reduce this price down to $8,200. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to need to zero out everything except for that $88 furnace vent because that's not included. And then we're going to need to put a bid item in there. Now you don't want to just erase all this stuff because you want to show that the scope was the same. He's going to do all these same items on here except for the furnace vent. And you don't just want to show it as one line item and call it bid item because then you don't know what's in there. So you want to put that line item in there, but you want to keep all these line items, the scope in there, so that you know what he's doing for that money. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to select all the items that are in the bid item. So I'm going to click on this top line. I'm going to hold down the shift key till I get down to the furnace vent. And I'm going to click on the line before the furnace vent, and that's going to get me everything in between there. Remember, shift gets everything in between the two that you click. Now I need to add these 13 and 14 lines. So I'm going to hold down the control key and I'm just going to click on both those lines and that's going to highlight everything there. I could have also done it the way I did it before, which was Control A. That highlights everything. Hold down the control button and click on that 12. That's not part of Xactimate. This is something you guys should know on your own. That's just part of, I guess, Microsoft. Anyway, we got everything highlighted that we need. So now we need to zero that out. So let's come up here to our global changes. And we're going to click right there on our global changes. And this time we're going to go to, up at the top, we're going to go to taxes, O&P, and repaired. Because that's where it is. Not that it makes sense, but that's where it is. And when we click there, we get this little screen right here. And you'll notice right here this note function. I want you to click right there on the note function. And I want you to click on this little drop-down menu right here. And you're probably getting a blank here if you've never done this before. Now, there are some people that will just create an item and call it bid item. I like to put the contractor's name there. And the reason is because you may have a roofer that's bidding this, but you've got let's say a general contractor that's bidding the rest of the job. If you just put in their bid item, you're not going to know who did what. So I'm going to recommend that you actually put the contractor's name in there. Now, how do you do that? First thing we're going to do is we're going to add one of these guys in here. So just click right here where it says add. And let's say that Joe's Roofing, I already have Joe's Roofing in there, so I'm going to use Joe's Roofing, but I want you to type in here on the price note, Joe's Roofing. I'm going to hit cancel, you hit OK, and that's going to put Joe's Roofing right down here. Now you're going to click there to select it. You're going to hit OK, and notice Joe's Roofing is right there. Now you're going to hit OK, and you're going to hit OK again. And notice what it did was, in the RCV here, it put Joe's Roofing on all the lines that he's doing. It skipped over the HVC, and it zeroed everything out except for that $42 right there. Or the $86, I'm sorry. $86. It was 46 after, 42 after depreciation. So it zeroed everything out. Now you're ready to put in your bid item for the $8,200 that he was going to do it for. Now you come up here to the category code, type in RFG, BID, and it'll pre-populate the rest. And we're going to come over here and click right here. Or you can come over here to where it says unit price. We're going to put the replace price to be $8,200. We're going to say it's tax exempt because that's the total amount that he's doing it for. I don't want to add tax onto that. And I would put over here maybe to give it a better description, per Joe's Roofing invoice or contract. Now we put in we hit OK, and there's our $8,200. That's how you do a bid item. So you basically zeroed everything out, and you put his lower price down here. And like I said, I like to put the name there, a little more professional, a little more detail, so that there's no question about it. And then put the bid item in there, showing who it's for, who it's from. Now, let's say that your manager wants to check your work. He can look at this and say, okay, they bid $8,200, but how do I know that the rest of this was higher? Because you zeroed out all that money. Well, he or you, if you happen to be a manager, can come over here, click on the bid item, come up here where the note is. Now notice we didn't have to go to global changes. There's a note function there in the unit price tab. And I'm going to click here on note, and you should always have a note in there that says exclude. So I'm going to click exclude, and I'm going to hit OK, and it just zeroed out that bid item. Now, it's always good to have one that says exclude, because remember before when we were talking about, he bid on everything minus one item, and you want to know what the price is without that one item. This way you can exclude it, see what the price is without actually having to delete it. So now that you've zeroed out the bid item, now we can put the money back on everything else. So I'm going to select here. I'm going to go down to my furnace vent, hold down the control, select the two that I want. And now I'm going to go back to global changes. And instead of clicking note here like I did before, I'm going to click right here where it says price. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit OK. And now put my price back, and look at that. Oh yes, $8,600. He's saving us $400. Good man, give him a raise. So that way, you see how that works? One more time. Check off here. Come down to right below right above HVAC. Hold down control, select those two. Global changes. Put my note back in there. Joe's Roofing is still going to be in there. Joe. And notice you can edit and delete these as you want. If you want to get rid of Joe's Roofing, you can always delete it. But I'm going to select it, hit OK. Hit OK. And Joe's Roofing is back in there, zeroed out. But I need to put my roofing, my bid item back. Click on it. See right there where it says clear note. And we're back to where we were. That's how you do a bid item. Hopefully that was clear. Might take a couple of times before you get the hang of it. But you've got this video you can always refer to. And it gets easy. All right, so that's how you do a bid item. That's how you put in a note to exclude things. And we're going to end this video here. And we'll see you at the next video.